Well, the first time was real easy with him because I've been with him before, so he knows the process. He knows the way I like to do it. But the second one will be easier just by nature of, having another year under our belt together, how I like to get his staff involved with my staff. We have open door policies. Scouts are in coaches' offices. Coaches are in scouts' offices all the time. A lot of communication. So I like the way it goes, and I think it paid off for us last year. Yeah, of course, I'd say disappointment, but not quite to the degree that many think, because, it's not like we don't like Jameis. We do like Jameis. We have to prepare for every scenario. This is a unique year where there's a lot of experienced quarterbacks that could potentially become free agents. We won't know that for a while now, but, what's going to happen, who's going to be available, we don't know. We just prepare for every scenario, and Jameis is one of those scenarios and one of those options, and we feel like we can win with Jameis. We've got to improve in some areas, but he actually did improve in other areas. So, we just have to be prepared for everything and any scenario that could come up, and we've talked through this, and I feel pretty good about our plan, whatever that ends up being. Well, he threw the deep ball a lot better. I thought he was able to get out of the pocket, move around, and create and go off schedule and do some things better than he did the previous year. So, but the deep ball accuracy was really it was nice to see that improvement, and I give a lot of credit to Clyde because he's a great fundamental coach. Yeah, I guess you could say that, but we're not saying that we don't want Jameis. We're just saying we want to check behind what's potentially behind door number 2, 3, 4, just so we can gather as much information as possible before we make the decision what we do. I think we're at a point, and he could be at a point where he could test free agency potentially. We are at a point where we can test and see what's out there. So no decision's been made yet, but I think we're just doing our due diligence, and we want to make the best decision possible for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we're in a unique position this year. Potentially, but we'll see. We'll see. We got a lot of options we can do right now. So tag deadline isn't until March 12th now, moved it up a couple days. Other quarterbacks could get tagged in the next starting Thursday. A lot of dominoes, or they could get re-signed by their teams. A lot of dominoes can fall. So there's a lot of things. It's a fluid process right now. I have a great relationship with his agent, and we talk often. We like all of them, and I don't want to tell you who the priority is because there really isn't. The priority is getting them all back. So we've been in contact with all of them and continue to do that this week. No, it is different. With the cap, you plan 3 years, 4 years in advance here. Last year I was hearing that we didn't have any cap room, and we were in cap hell, but now, we have, a lot. So, it's a good position to be in for us to make decisions and try to keep this core together. Yeah, we have. From the get-go, we knew that this year potentially could be a good draft there. There are some quality guys, and then there's also quality throughout the draft at all levels. So, there's some good ones. Well, you want to choose the one that at the end of the day is the best one for the future of the Buccaneers too. So anymore, it used to be you wanted to wait, give players 3 years to see what they are, but now you guys want them to go out and play at a Pro Bowl level their first game. Otherwise, I'm getting shots fired at me. So, anyone we take, we're going to do everything we can. I had a lot of trust with our staff, all coaches, getting the young guys ready to go. I thought we did a fantastic job last year with Jamel Dean and Sean Murphy-Bunting coming from a small school, and second half of the season really playing lights out. So I have a lot of faith in our coaching staff, and that's a good thing to have, coaches that love to develop and like to develop quickly. Sure, we've talked about that too. We haven't closed the door on any of our, impending free agents. So DeMar's done a fantastic job for us for a long time. I've got a lot of respect for him. We think he's got tremendous talent still. He made huge strides last year, obviously, coming from a rookie year that he'd like to forget to having 1,000 yards combined. I think he's still scratching the surface, and he's getting better and better. Some players develop quickly. Some players need a little bit of time. He's young when he came out, and we saw the difference in his confidence last year, just the way he carried himself, not just on the field but in the building, and we're expecting him to be even better this year. Anthony is a really good piece to the puzzle in our team. He's got a good role. We like him. He's good at what he does. He's a great kid. So we see him as one of the bricks in the building here for a while, hopefully. Yeah. That's one option that we have, but we'll we've got a lot of conversations going on right now with a lot of players. Well, he's under contract. We have him under contract for another year. We've got a lot of things that are coming up because of timeline that we need to take care of. It's not ranking guys that one guy's better than the other. I would put Chris up there as one of our better players on our football team. But, we have time with that one. So, there's different ways you structure contracts that you got to see what you have left after it's done and how we're going to do things. Well, so far I haven't really gone through it yet. I mean, we're in the early stages yet. So until you go through it and I see those primetime workouts and how it's working out compared to how our interviews are working out, I don't have an opinion right now on it. I know that there's a lot less time to go out and have a steak. Yeah, it's really big for those guys to see how they, just getting in front of them, their maturity level, their confidence, their intelligence. We do more than the 20-minute interview. We spend a lot of time with them. Other parts of Indy and train station and all of our assistant coaches spend hours and hours of time with every player that's here, and it's very valuable, especially from those guys that are a little less known. I'm sorry, what? No, not really. We just want good football players, and sometimes they come from small schools. Sometimes, most of the time, they come from big schools. But I guess it's a feather in a scout's cap. I used to love when I was an area scout and stand on the table for a small school guy, and the general manager selected him ultimately. But it's a testament to the hard work that our guys do. Well, we're hoping that he's coming along. It's a little bit slower than we first thought. Not necessarily a bad thing, because at the end of the day, we just want him to be completely healed. Potentially hopefully maybe the end of OTAs, and for sure by training camp we're hoping. You always have to take that into account when you're going through the draft, free agency. But, we potentially, if we did nothing, if Justin comes back, we have him. We feel good about Mike Edwards. We like Jordan Whitehead, and we like Dakota Dixon, what he's done in a short amount of time. So last year in training camp before he got hurt. So it could become a position of strength when it's perceived as a weakness. We love those three young guys. Carlton made huge advances last year, second half of the year, along with Sean and Jamel. Just three great guys. They bought into the program. They want to go out and compete every week. Couldn't be happier with those three young guys. Well, the first year in the offense, he didn't quite get the numbers that we thought he would. But as this offseason, as we've gotten into the offseason and looked at all the tape and the coaches have gone through all the cut-ups, they're more than excited right now about what he can do in his second year. So it took a little bit of acclimation part on OJ to the offense, but also our coaching staff and our scheme to OJ. So we have a lot better idea of what he can do and what he does best that Bruce will implement into the offense. So we're very excited. We just had that conversation the other day, Bruce and I. So we're very high on OJ. Oh, man, I've been to a lot of combines. Remember I had to stake that combine. No, I mean, just remember him being here and just walk through all the other players and, going through the process. We ended up taking him that year, but nothing specific comes to mind. That's one of the great things.